Hello trail travelers. Today we're going to hit Mosquito Pass outside of Alma, Colorado, and if everything goes right, we'll get over the pass and we'll come down into Leadville at the end of the day. It's a little smoky today, so the views aren't going to be as good as I would like because of huge forest fire, but we're going to do the best we can. So stay right there. We'll be right back. So the story kind of goes that when they were holding a town meeting here back in the mid-1800s, that they were trying to decide on the name of the town. And nobody could agree on anything. Well, someone opened up a book and there was a mosquito squished between two pages. And mosquito it was. Everybody agreed that that was an appropriate name for the town, and it's been Mosquito ever since. And the last time I was here, which was a few years ago, about the same, probably a little later in the season, it definitely lived up to its name. When we were walking around the mines, there was a ton of mosquitoes. So, big recommendation when coming out here is bug spray, number one. If you don't have any or you forgot some, then I would say any time that you stop, make sure that the windows are all rolled up and that you keep the door shut as much as possible, because you will very likely end up with some skeeters. Even back there at the very beginning where I was airing down, there ended up being a few mosquitoes that came into the vehicle. And these aren't little guys either. I mean, they're some of the biggest mosquitoes I've ever seen. I don't think they can quite carry Sonia away, but they're definitely some good sized mosquitoes around here. Now, when you get to the fork in the road, you actually can go either left or right. The right side is the quote-unquote correct way to go, but they both will end up kind of rejoining. But I try and avoid the left side because there's more private property down there. So we're going to stay to the right here. There was a sign there that said four-wheel drive vehicles only, and we are in four-wheel drive, so we're just going to have a nice leisurely cruise today. We should be able to see some mines. The weather's great. Right now it's 66 degrees, and this is August 22nd, so it is definitely the middle of summer, and it's only 66 degrees here today. Like I said, unfortunately though, we just don't have really nice skies because of a big forest fire that's about, it's probably 75 miles west of us, and it's blowing all the smoke back here. So unfortunately, not the best views today, but it still should be really, really pretty. All right, so you're gonna get to this intersection here, and you do not want to go straight. So right there, you see that 856. That's not how we want to go. Now you can go there, and it's very narrow, and you'll probably get some pinstriping going up, but you can go and, you know, if you're just up here to like spend the day, yeah, go ahead, go up that road. But if we're just trying to get over Mosquito Pass, we want to make a left right there. And you can see the road stays much more narrow and more driven on versus that section, which can be pretty rough. So we'll just keep heading up the road here. If you weren't already in 4 low, you're going to want to hit it right before you get on the hairpin and start going up this rock wall here. It's not super steep, but it's definitely rocky, and you're going to want to take your time. So get yourself in 4 low and just kind of crawl your way up it. It's definitely interesting being somewhere that it's 64 degrees at the end of August and there's snow on the ground. So yeah, kind of trippy to see that, but very cool though, you know, gotta love it. Just tells you it does get kind of cold around here. Let me go back straight here. We got just a beautiful area. So we're coming up over this little pass that was really rocky, and trying to see what we've got going on here. I haven't been over here before. I've only been up to that mine before. But what a view. Oh, this is just beautiful. Just kind of soaking it in a little bit. I wish there wasn't so much smoke today. Definitely is cutting down on the visibility. But it's just a beautiful area. And coming up, I've passed a number of stock Jeeps. Most of them did have some upgraded tires on them. I wouldn't come up here in street tires you're just really not going to have much traction. But a good all-terrain or mud tire is going to do just fine. I've seen a couple motorcycles. That seems kind of fun. Not my cup of tea on a motorcycle. It's just a little too rough, but definitely doable. And we're still climbing. Let's see where we're at. I'm going to bring up the off-road pages. See what we got going on. But this view is just super good. I really love it. Let's see, we are at 12,718 feet. And I know we still have a ways to go before we're at the highest point. If you see over there to the left, there's quite a bit of snow over there still. It's definitely a fun trail. I wouldn't call it hard. I'm not even sure I would call this moderate at this point. It's just a really, really rocky road. But coming up on this rocky place after the London mine, you do need to really be mindful of anyone else that might be coming down, because there are some really narrow spots and there's just not a lot of room to be passing anywhere. But certainly any stock Jeep, Tacoma, 4Runner, is not going to have any problem coming up here. There's ATVs, there's some side-by-sides, everyone's having a good time. It's just a really great view. We're coming up here on an ATV. It looks like a side-by-side is coming up. And my only issue with doing an ATV or a side-by-side up here is once you get all the way to one side, you have to turn around and head back the other direction. That's definitely the main reason I went with the Jeep, is so on places like this where I end up in another town, I can just kind of keep going, get back on the road, turn around, go home, go somewhere else. I don't have to turn around and go all the way back to the beginning of where I started. Well, we passed the top of Mosquito Pass at over 13,180 feet. A little higher than that, I think, because we're already starting to head down the other side. Now this side is a little different. We're on a shelf road here. If you don't like that, you might want to, think about this a little bit before doing it. It's really far down there, it looks. Kind of hard to see, but I'm fairly confident it's pretty darn steep. But there's plenty of room. Now, if another vehicle comes up, it's going to get really, really tight, but I'm not too worried about that. The view is fantastic. Really hazy because of the fire, unfortunately. Otherwise, the view would be phenomenal. But this is really cool. I've never been on this side of the pass before, so it's surprisingly completely different. The view is different. This road is kind of the same. We've been on this rocky terrain, but this shelf road is it's a little different. It doesn't bother me at all, especially because I'm on the driver's side. But if someone's a little timid, be something to be aware of. But so far, a handful of stock Jeeps. I will say mostly Rubicons, but you know, for here in Colorado, if you're going to do stuff like this, you're probably buying a Rubicon just so that you have the lockers, the electronic sway bar disconnect, you know, those types of things. It's got a little bit more lift already, and it's going to come with all-terrain tires. So a Rubicon right off the factory floor is very well suited for doing this, where, you know, a Sport, you know, you're probably going to want to change the tires. Don't need a lift or anything. Sport can definitely handle this. And most of the time I've just been, well, I've been in 4-low the entire time, and mostly I've just been in manual 1 or manual 2 and just kind of cruising along. Now I see there's like 4 vehicles coming up, and seeing as though they're coming up, they're going to have technically the right of way. So as I get closer, I'm gonna want to be the one to try and find a spot to pull over and give them some room. So it's going to be a little while before I have to worry about it, but something to be a little cognizant of on this shelf road. So it looks like they may be stopping, so maybe I'll catch up to them or get to a better location. Well, we're continuing down the backside of Mosquito Pass here. Beautiful day. Got these little lakes over here off to the driver's side. Seen more activity on this side with ATVs and side-by-sides than the other side. Again, I did get a kind of an early start this morning, and I came in from Alma. So anybody I would have seen early on would have had to have basically come from that side or had to go really far. If you just come up to like London Mill and turn around, well, I probably would never have seen them because they would have been there and gone. But now I've seen, I see more people coming up from the Leadville side, but they have to go as far as they want and then turn around and go back. So as much as I wanted a side-by-side, and maybe someday I'll get one for certain situations, but on this particular road, you're going between 2 cities, so it's kind of nice not to have to backtrack. I don't get to see the same things twice. But definitely a fairly easy trail. It's rocky. We got those shelf roads. There's a couple obstacles that are totally optional. You absolutely do not need to take those if you don't want. You can just bypass them, as I watched other people do. So not a big deal if you don't want to take a couple harder lines. And we got a Cherokee coming up. At least right here, we got plenty of room to pass. A good one. We've already dropped 2,000 feet, so we're down to 11,700 feet from 13,000. Came down pretty quick, I gotta say. And funny thing is, it feels warmer, but it's actually cooler. It's only 64 degrees right now. But we do have some nice sun, even if it's a little obscured by the smoke. but not too bad at all. Well, we're coming around the side of the lakes there. As we're dropping in altitude here, we're getting down to the tree line. Some nice pine trees. Some, little flowing water here, because as you saw, there was still snow up there. So there's snow melt coming down the road. Just past a little convoy of about 6 vehicles. It's totally stock Wrangler with street tires. So, I mean, I don't know what's further this way. They were coming towards me this direction. So, I don't know if it's easier or not. And honestly, I mean, he can make it all the way. I mean, he can get all the way to Alma. It's just going to be a little rough going on those street tires. Now, maybe if he aired down a little bit, that'll help. But I prefer something with a little more tread, because on those rocks, they move around a lot. And having some traction is definitely a good thing. But it's still 64 degrees. Really nice. Got a little more active of a structure over on our left here. I think it's, it's probably some kind of mine operation or forestry operation. But it's definitely getting cool, change of view, a cool change of view as we come down in altitude and get down to the tree line. And looking straight across the valley there, we can see some more old mines. So hopefully we get up to those and we can get some other cool photos. Well, this is the end of it. We've hit asphalt. So that's Alma to Leadville via Mosquito Pass. Fun day, beautiful drive, fairly easy. Like I said, any stock vehicle, stock Jeep or anything, probably even maybe some Subarus or something like that. There's only a couple spots where you actually need some ground clearance, but as long as you're not running really small tires, you're going to be fine. But you do need 4-wheel drive. That is going to be a must if you plan on doing the whole thing. If you come from Leadville and just go up to London Mine, yeah, you probably still want 4-wheel drive just because it's really steep, but the other side is really loose rock. So you want as much grip as you can, air down for best results, and enjoy it. So this has been Kerry with Trail Traveler. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more. We're always out looking around for some of the best trails in Colorado and wherever else we end up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us out to grow the channel. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.